Brandon, tell the audience a little bit about yourself and how you come to choose Norfolk State University as your educational career goal.
So you mentioned I am a sophomore at Norfolk State University, and why I chose Norfolk State because finishing my high school year, I wanted to do something in cybersecurity. And looking around at Virginia and my hometown Woodbridge, I was an institution where HBCU and had a strong cybersecurity program, and that's where I found upon Norfolk State University. And also, because I need to go to HBCU, I got scholarship from the Thurgood Marshall College Fund, so that also helped definitely choose my decision to go to NSU.
So when you considered going to schools when you was in high school, did you specifically want to go to an HBCU?
Yes, I did.
Oh, so you did. So, and then that helped you decide between all the HBCUs, especially in the Virginia, North Carolina, and DC area, and that was your choice to go to Norfolk State University, correct?
Correct, because it had proven to have a strong cybersecurity program.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Career Education Learning Center podcast. I'm your host, Mitchell Rivers. I am TE today. What is TE? I am thrilled and elated to have Brandon Carr here. Brandon is a sophomore at Norfolk State University, majoring in computer science with a concentration in cybersecurity. How are you doing today, Mr. Carr?
I'm good. Thank you for having me.
Oh, man. Hey, it's a pleasure, man. Thank you so much for being on our show today. Brandon, tell the audience a little bit about yourself and how you come to choose Norfolk State University as your educational career goal.
So you mentioned I am a sophomore at Norfolk State University, and why I chose Norfolk State because finishing my high school year, I wanted to do something in cybersecurity. And looking around at Virginia and my hometown Woodbridge, I was an institution where HBCU and had a strong cybersecurity program, and that's where I found upon Norfolk State University. And also, because I need to go to HBCU, I got scholarship from the Thurgood Marshall College Fund, so that also helped definitely choose my decision to go to NSU.
So when you considered going to schools when you was in high school, did you specifically want to go to an HBCU?
Yes, I did.
Oh, so you did. So, and then that helped you decide between all the HBCUs, especially in the Virginia, North Carolina, and DC area, and that was your choice to go to Norfolk State University, correct?
Correct, because it had proven to have a strong cybersecurity program. Yeah.
And let's talk about the scholarships, because here, Brandon, we try to encourage students to use outsourced resources and the school resources to get scholarship and free money for college. How did you come about applying for the Thurgood Marshall College Fund?
So actually, I got this recommendation from someone who knew my parent, knew that I was looking for going to an HBCU. So they told my mom about Thurgood Marshall College Fund, and then she told me about it. And I looked into it. I was looking for scholarships going into college. I didn't want to put all the financial burden onto my parents. So I do always. It was very important to me. I was looking myself for scholarships, and I was getting me luck. And I wasn't winning anything, and that's when this scholarship came in that helped me pay for my whole first year of college.
Wow. So does it pay? Is it a renewable scholarship each year? It renews, or do you have to reapply each year? How does that work?
This was just for that year. Uh-huh. So then the Thurgood Marshall College Fund, they have many different other scholarships. So I've been applying for them. They have a huge application portal, and I usually been winning at least one every single year.
Did y'all hear that, ladies and gentlemen? Especially my fellow college students who watching us and high school students. Apply. It's the same thing we do with jobs, Brandon. I mean, you get 1 or 2 jobs you try to apply for, you may not get that. But if you apply for 8, 10, 12, keep going, eventually somebody will get you the interview. And if you go on 4 or 5 interviews, I guarantee you, eventually you will get a job. That happened to me, right? I kept applying. When I came out of school, I couldn't get nothing. And then finally, as I told Brandon earlier, ladies and gentlemen, that I went to retail management when I came out of school. And so that retail management, I stayed about 4 or 5 years. And then I went to banking and finance, which I was wanting to go into in the first place. But it takes time. It takes time sometimes in order to get the type of career that you want to establish in. And so have you done an internship yet, Brandon?
Yes, I have. Well, this internship, my first one I had, it was app developer intern at FW at Forward Think. This actually I was placed at the internship by Norfolk State University. So I was applying myself. I was getting luck. Then I contacted like my school cybersecurity complex, the woman who's in charge of that building and an organization that goes into that building. So she helped me and a bunch of other students land internships with other companies. It's a direct link to that company as app developer intern.
Man, and how was that internship? What type of training were you doing, and what did you take away from that training?
This internship, it was like a small internship. It gave me a little like insight to app development and how many steps that go into it, like the planning of it, building prototypes, and seeing how that will eventually move into actual application. We didn't really get at that point into internship, but I was very like it was eye-opening to me because a different career path I could look into other than cybersecurity.
Yeah, that really does help you. At least you got, like you said before, at least dip yourself into that, right? You kind of know a little bit about it, you know. They don't have to go to the full range of what you would be doing because, of course, it's more detail-oriented what they do. They didn't have time to do that. But at least it gave you some type of awareness of what they're going to be doing. So did that secure? That's something you want to go into? Because a lot of people do internships and they found out that this is not what I really want to. So, for example, I had some past, guests that's gone to thought they want to go into nursing or the medical field and found out that wasn't the right field for them. And that was great. They did their internship without having to continue to go through the medical field, graduate, and then don't like it. So did you enjoy your internship, and did that secure you in what you're saying? That's what I want to be.
I did enjoy my internship, although because it was like app development. I really like cybersecurity, but even though there was some cybersecurity aspects of the internship, I realized that I really don't have nothing really to do with app development itself, but more of being like a cybersecurity analyst. So that kind of helped me reframe my decision to going into like being more like a security or looking into like doing database type things and looking at servers instead of being the one that actually builds apps.
Oh man! So have you done any other? You say another internship you've done. What other internships have you done since you've been at Norfolk State University?
That was my first internship. Now I'm looking to be a remote monitoring and diagnostics operator internship coming up this summer in Chicago. So I was taking a lot of advantage of that opportunity, looking into that. I'll be working with SQL and Python, using those languages to build something like make it automated.
Oh man! So did you have a transition? Now, when I went to school, and some of my past guests said the same thing, did you have a challenging transition from high school to college, or was it smooth sailing for you?
I would say it was pretty smooth sailing, most likely because I did a lot of preparation myself, just looking into like what I would be getting into. I'll say like the transition from like going to the coursework, that wasn't really an issue for me. It was mostly the living on campus.
The social aspect?
Yeah, living on campus, the social aspect, and having to make sure a lot of things that are on me is actually to make sure I have like the food and the laundry. And then of course, waking myself up, all sorts of things. That was the adjustment to from high school to college.
Yeah, that adjustment, time management, being on your own, your parents not telling you what to do, where to go. So sometimes if it's not I tell you, the academic transition that one had to make or challenge that we had to do when you go from high school to college, it is also the social environment there. So are you involved in any organizations while you're there at Norfolk State yet? Have you joined any organizations or clubs?
I'm looking into getting into the NSB, National Society of Black Engineers, and of course, being a part of the Thurgood Marshall College Fund and going to those events. That's also an organization within itself that I am a part of. And then also outside of that, in my classes and people around me, I always try to help people who struggle in their coursework. It could be either programming classes or like the data structures or computer organization, those type of classes. Since I'm doing pretty well in those courses, so I always try to help others who struggle.
Well, where were you when I was in school, man? I need help. I need help, Brandon. Where was you then? Oh, I'm sorry. He wasn't born yet. Okay. All right. But I needed help then, Brandon. I mean, you could have been there at least, came back from the future and come back and help me out with a couple of things and go back up to the future. You could at least done that for me.
Yeah. I'd be glad to.
Yeah, you could have done that for me. No doubt about that. And so dealing with, as far as going with cybersecurity and everything else, how is the computer world going these days? There are a lot of changes because every time I turn around, there's changes on my phone, there's changes on TV. There's just so many app changes. How does one adapt to those changes?
I think the best way to do it is just be like informed of everything that's going on. Always just look into every single day, like the news source or going on like the internet, looking at how AI is coming in and changing how technology works and looking into what jobs that may or may not be either improved or maybe need to look into a different field. Because that's really what I've been doing, and especially to shape my my decision. Because I know, and at a high school senior, a lot of people were telling me, you go into cybersecurity. Look how many jobs opening for cybersecurity because the world is starting to advance. There's so many different cyber threats, like new cyber threats being made. So like in the world, we need more cyber professionals. So like that, this is going to be a good field for me because by the time I graduate, there'll be a lot of job demanding. You know, in college, people are coming to me. Opportunity I'm getting messages about, but you're a student in cybersecurity, here's an opportunity for you, here's another opportunity for you. So of course, if I have the time for it, I always try and respond and do any opportunity that I can get to.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, cybersecurity seemed to be what I say, quote, hottest major this time, because I know a lot of students that I noticed online, LinkedIn, and other social media platforms. And when I talk to students, a lot of them are starting to go to the cybersecurity as far as being a major, because it is big time, because now we do about everything on computer, right? Even 3 or 4 years ago, the phone, my gracious, what we can do on the phone, even in 2 or 3 years ago compared to now, what we can do now compared to 2 or 3 years ago, let me say that much, is incredible. You know, right. Now I'm not going to tell my age too much, but I remember, Brandon, we can, you can see no videos, no nothing. All we did with phone was text and talk. That's it, text and talk. That was it, And then all of a sudden, you got pictures on the phone. Oh wow, I can send pictures. And then you can take a picture. Wow, you take a picture, and then you say videos. And you say, oh man, we put videos on there. And now you got television on there. I mean, and you got more and more social media platforms that you can have on your phone. And even talking about cable and satellite, the number of streaming services is unreal. First there's a couple of streaming services now, and now there's a whole plethora of streaming services. And so the computer industry, the cyber energy, I mean, it's just overwhelming, man. And we need somebody like you and other people make sure we get protected, And that also with cybersecurity also deal with protecting the privacy. Now that everything is about on computer, if not 90% or above, it's on computer now, all our information and everything. Is that part of cybersecurity too?
With
any type of with all the things that we put on as far as our information and stuff, is that part of cybersecurity, protecting individuals' privacy and everything on computers too?
Oh yeah, that's definitely a part of cybersecurity. That's honestly the most important part, is people making sure that your personal data, everything that you have on your person, because a lot of people upload personal documents, banking, all that stuff is online now. So if that gets compromised, you can really lose a lot. And that's one of the things why I'm really going to get into some of this work of cybersecurity, so I can protect other people. Cause I kind of know how that feeling of losing very important information or having that at risk, and how you can lose a lot of very sacred documents. Cause I know a lot of people have to upload family photos into a cloud server, and having that hijacked by malware will just be devastating, because that's the last resort, other than having a physical copy of that picture.
Yeah, and I have some on my phone too, some of my family pictures on there that was sent from somebody else, one of the family members. I'm like, well, that's all I have. I guess I could print out a hard copy, which I guess I should do that now. I think I would do that now, Brandon, talking to you now. I think I would the hard copies on there. Well, those won't be lost because you won't get them back. And but that's sometimes, like you said before, it's not only your personal information, but it may be personal to you, right? Personal pictures and other things that I may have on my phone and on my information. So when you went to the Thurgood Marshall, did they have like a convention or a group of people that be there when you went there? Any kind of conventions you've been to, anything like that, or conferences?
So the Thurgood Marshall events I've been to have been immersion programs. My first one was the Medtronic immersion program, and that took us directly to the headquarters of Medtronic, and you got to talk to senior leaders who already work there, interact with other HBCU students from all across the country.
Wow.
So that was, it was awesome getting to network with a lot of people. And then at the end of it, you got priority interview for internships for that company. The Thurgood Marshall, they work with many different companies. So whatever emerging program you go to, whatever company if they're working with, you get priority interview for that company.
Man, that is great. So I think my audience here need to know that, especially if you're in school, college or high school, that as much as you seem like to get involved, that it's very important for students to get involved, especially within their major. So they go to conventions, they get involved with different organizations, different clubs and organizations. That way they get more networking opportunities that's not offered. I think a lot of times, and I discussed this with my past guests, is that when I first went to community college first, I didn't get involved that much because of community college. I was a commuter. But once I went to UNC Pembroke, the 4-year school, then the first semester, I really just stayed in my dorm most of the time. And so then I had to learn that second semester to get out, you know what I'm saying? Start emerging, you know, playing intramural sports, being part of organizations and clubs. But that way I can get that college experience, you know. And is that HBCU experience, is that well for you there? Because I heard a lot about HBCU experience. Is that something that you are embracing at this time?
Yes, it is. At Norfolk State, it's great. They have a lot of different club organizations. There's also something going on every week, almost like every day. All different students coming out. Also, there's every Friday there's events going on. It's also very, very, very fun, interesting here at the school. And of course, we take very good pride in our band. Our band is one of the best HBCU bands there is. So, yeah.
Yeah, of course, other bands gonna say the same thing, right? I hear, I'm in Charlotte, so I hear about John C. Smith, because I always hear about A&T, North Carolina Central. You always hear about those bands. Every band, from Florida A&M, we the best band here, South Carolina State. So all HBCU love their band, which is fantastic, man. Do you have any advice or any suggestions for high school students who maybe going to college that you wish you would have known before you went there?
I think my only really advice that has helped me is, of course, if we get into college or we looking at college, make sure you pick that one thing that you want to do and you're passionate about. And that's something that, because you guys not passionate about, there are some days of the class that are going to be very, very hard. You have to keep reminding yourself what you're doing it for, your future career, and your future goals and what you want to do. And also, like you said, already be involved and apply to every single opportunity, no matter what it is. Whether you see something on your campus, you walk around your campus, you take interest to your major, I always say just apply to it. Look online, there's many different immersions you can go to, like career events you can go to, and also do well in your classes. I feel like do the best you can in your classes, try and get like above a 3.0 if you can. A lot of companies, they're looking for that for internships because internships lead into full-time jobs. A lot of people get their degree with no past experiences or no internships, and yes, they can be very difficult, especially nowadays, to land a full-time entry-level job.
Well, that's what you said was very right on top. What I've been trying to tell students is that really try to get really immersed into internships and do well in class. Nobody told me when I graduated, like you said before, Brandon, if you have at least a 3.0 and above, you can get to a lot of management programs.
Yes.
And so these days, even more when I was going to school, it's very competitive. And so if you get an internship and they can help you jumpstart your career. So immersion programs like you're doing, internship, co-ops, anything you can do within that major. If you're in the medical field, if you can't get an internship, try to work part-time in the medical field somewhere. If you're in computers, try to work part-time in the computer industry. Anything that can put you immersed into that program that you want to get a career in, because they're going to give you an advantage when you go and apply for those jobs, because everybody applying for those jobs, right? It's very competitive. And so the way you can kind of jumpstart your career, or at least get foot to the pot forward, is to make sure that you got some internships, you have good grades, and that way if you choose to go to graduate school or you choose to get a certification or a license in something, you already ahead of the game. Would you agree with that, Brandon?
Yeah, I very much agree with that, especially now I think a lot of people, they get the notion that that if you go to college and get a degree, you'll be fine. But that's not really the case now. They have more and more people are starting to go to college, more and more people starting to get degrees. So now you have to do a bit more to set yourself apart. And that it can be either just getting your name out there. You don't have to get internships. If you go into organizations, I know there's some things, especially if you're signed to the National Cyber League, you can do that. That gives you experience. Anything you can do to get yourself some experience and build your LinkedIn, build a connection, that'll help you make a very competitive full-time roles. You get looking for entry-level positions.
Well, man, you said a lot of good things there. I think our owners definitely will take to heart, man. I'm definitely going to use your nuggets and reference even for myself to get more immersed in the organization myself, because I'm a new entrepreneur. I did do, like you said, Brandon, I did join the National Association of Self-Employed Businesses, and I did that, and a couple other organizations, and I do have mentors. And so I'm trying to do everything I can to put myself in a position to be successful. So thank you, Brandon, so much for coming on our show today. I really do appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you for having me. I enjoyed this. I enjoyed talking about it. Yeah, I really appreciate you. Thank you.
I tell you what, I appreciate you too, and you definitely gonna have to come back, okay, and give some of those updates on this computer that seem to be changing. All this software seem to be changing on a minute's notice. And I'd like to thank our viewers and listeners for joining me, Mitchell Rivers, on the Career Education Learning Center podcast, where we're making your career dreams a reality. God bless.